everybody. Julie here from Mostly Caffeinated. I have a pile of laundry that I'm folding, and I always do two things at once when I'm folding laundry, so I thought, why not record a video? Speaking of doing two things at once, this might be the first time I've mentioned this on my channel. I don't know if this has come up before, but this pertains to the video and the fact that I'm doing laundry at the same time as recording a video. But I have a personality that might indicate that I have an attention deficit problem. I'm not being facetious. I have never been diagnosed as such, other than by, Dr. Google, but it's pretty apparent to me. I'm a pretty metacognitive person. It means I know how to think about my own thought processes, and I'm also, a teacher who specializes in special education, and I'm pretty sure that I have an attention deficit. Let's just say that. I'm pretty sure. So why that pertains to today's video is that's why I'm doing two things at once, because I can't do only one thing at a time. When I'm recording a normal video, I'm sure you see me looking all around. I'm usually picking at stuff or writing something or touching my face a lot because I have trouble doing only one thing at a time. That also has to do with this video because that is the reason why this little chat is going to be so multifaceted. I'm sure you can read. Okay, the title of the video talks about that it's going to be about my hobbies. Okay, yes, hobbies. And I'm sure most people have multiple hobbies. I'm sure that's not strange. What probably is strange is the sheer number of hobbies that I have and the amount of time that I do not spend doing them. In case you're not familiar with attention deficit, you don't know somebody with it, you don't have it, whatever. If you're just here for curiosity, great, hello, welcome. But one hallmark of having an attention problem is that you start a lot of things and don't finish them. Now, I'm sure there's other people who start things and don't finish them for other reasons. But in terms of my existence, I have started and not finished so many things, I can't even count them. I will invest time and money into starting hobbies, starting, projects, and I just never finish anything. And it's not for lack of wanting to finish it or because I've stopped loving doing it. There is just some kind of mental block in my brain where I don't finish things. And it bothers me, and I see these half-finished projects sitting around, and I just don't finish them. So, here is one attention deficit mother's list of hobbies that I have had and have not fully abandoned, even though I don't do them. Okay, probably the first hobby of my life was doing art. I used to draw and paint and sculpt and all kinds of things when I was a kid. Now, I still do this sometimes, but not really as a hobby. When I need to make or produce things, I have the skills to do so. When I was a teacher, I had to make bulletin boards. I had to make, demonstration types of projects all the time. I would draw drawings if I couldn't find a drawing of what I needed for a lesson or what have you. And that's great. That's been a very useful skill. That's probably the thing I still do the most because it's the most applicable. Okay, I need to do it the most. But I don't really sit down and do art for fun. Now, I'm not sure any adults do art for fun. Truly, really, I feel like art as an adult is almost always a project of some kind. You need to, make decor for your house. You need to frost a cake. You need to, draw something for your kid. You need to draw a floor plan for something. Something like that. When I was a kid, I used to literally just draw for fun. Pictures of anything. It doesn't matter. I would spend hours. I don't know. I like that I learned a useful skill doing that. That's cool. But, it's kind of an abandoned hobby. Working my way through my childhood, I guess the next hobby I undertook would be the piano, playing the piano. I started playing the piano when I was 7 or 8. I was in 2nd grade. I took lessons at my school. I took lessons all the way through grade school till I was, 14. And then I stopped. Sorry for that interruption. My kids got up from their nap. But anyway, I stopped piano not because I'm a big quitter and not because I lost interest in it or whatever. But in order to continue past the point where I was, I would have had to do like competitive piano. I know that sounds wild, but I would have had to enter competitions and give memorized recitals, and that is not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to play the piano. So I stopped on purpose because I didn't want to do that kind of piano, and that there was nowhere to go but to that type of playing, and I didn't want to do that. So I gave that up in about 8th grade. And I played for fun through high school still at my parents' house, but then when I got to college, for a variety of reasons I won't go into, I was required to take organ lessons, and so I didn't have time for piano. And when I moved back home in the summer, my parents had sold my piano and moved to a different house. So that's kind of where the piano playing stopped. I bought myself a piano when I was an adult a few years back, and I paid to move it to this house with me, and goodness knows that was expensive. But now I have small children, and every time I try to play the piano, they are all up in my business, and I can get about one song out before I've got plunking on both ends, people using the keys that I need to use, whatever. So it's on the wayside. Now, other abandoned hobbies would include things like gardening. I usually plant a garden, or I start to plant a garden, and then I kind of give up on it. Now, I'm terrible with plants. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. So part of this is probably because I'm terrible at plants. But part of it is just I lose interest. After I plant the thing, it's like, well, we'll see what happens now. Whatever. Writing. Now, I do keep a blog, so if you follow me there, you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, or you're not, because you've noticed that my blog posts can go, in streaks and then disappear for a long time. I used to keep journals. I used to write poetry. Oh my goodness. Back when I was, young and angsty, when I was like 14, 15 years old, I wrote a lot of poetry. And I don't do that anymore, but that's largely because I don't have, the emotions anymore, the angst to fuel that poetry. Let's see, what else have I done for fun in my past? I used to watch TV and movies. I don't even do that anymore. I don't even like TV and movies anymore. I still read, but I have to make a conscious effort to do so. I put a book on my pillow, so I'm forced to pick it up before I go to bed at night, and that's kind of been a recent thing since, I don't know, January or February that I've started back up again with reading. Before that, oh my goodness, I struggled to name a book I read each year, between college, where I had to read, and now, when I've finally gotten back into the habit. Let's see. What else did I do for fun? Baby, can you move that basket closer to me? The square one. Just pull it right there. Thank you. And can you put that washcloth in that I missed? Washcloth? That's washcloth right there. In there. Thank you. A terrible throw. I have before done sports. I enjoy golfing. I haven't golfed in years and years and years. I enjoy badminton. We actually have a badminton set that we bought specifically, and we put up one time, 3 homes ago. It's never been up again. I enjoy sewing, which is actually what inspired this video. As I was sitting around this morning thinking about sewing projects, and then remembering that I never get around to sewing. In my head, I could make all these things. I could make my baby girl clothes. I could make, Halloween costumes every year. I've done that, but not in the last few years. I could make home goods, like I could make cloth napkins, I could make a tablecloth, I could make I could make curtains. I've never done this stuff. Like, I have a sewing machine, I've purchased fabric, I have thread, I have bobbins, I have like all kinds of cool tools for sewing. The most sewing I ever get done is in May. I do a lot of like last minute sewing to make costumes for plays and costumes and props for camp, and that's it. The rest of the year I don't touch the thing. Why? I find like cooking and baking to be a hobby, but right now I'm mostly cook and bake. You want to go off? What? Your finger on? Oh, well then it goes this way. Pencil grippers are hard. I mostly cook and bake to keep my family, in food, not for fun. I don't really experiment anymore like I used to. I used to like find new recipes and try them, and I did cake decorating for a while in my teens. No. When I have to make one of my kids a birthday cake, I try to find like a color of sprinkles that goes with the theme of the party and just cover the whole thing in sprinkles so I don't have to do any like piping. I used to embroider and do like needle crafts. Oh my goodness. I did silk ribbon embroidery and regular embroidery and counted cross stitch and crocheting. Good job. And all kinds of stuff like that. No. My crocheting is like the number one thing that I talk about when I talk about unfinished hobbies. If anybody needs like 2/3 of an Afghan worth of squares, I have them. I have a huge box full of granny squares that are about 2/3 of enough to make an Afghan and not sewn together. I made those all in like 2 summers back when I was like 10 and 11. Haven't touched them since then. I have moved them from place to place to place to place to place, certain that someday I'm going to finish making these into an Afghan. And so far, no dice. My kids are trying to learn to use pencil grippers to hold their pencils correctly. So this little guy, he's 2.5, he keeps coming over to ask me to put his fingers on his pencil gripper. So that's what we're doing, in case you're wondering. Anyway, so all this needlecraft, I've embroidered pillowcases. I mean, like one of the 2 pillowcases, multiple times. I made like 1 dishcloth. Whatever. It doesn't hold my interest. It's like too long of a project. Oh, noise. What happened? Did you pinch yourself? Or did you need a kiss? Like, takes too long to do these needlecraft things. It's not interesting to me for that long, so I don't finish them. I, used to collect things. Oh, good job. I collected rocks when I was a kid, like for real, not just a pile of stones from outside, but like different kinds of rocks. I would go looking for different like minerals and geodes and that kind of stuff. I used to collect stamps with my sister. I used to like keep music boxes, and I was in all this kinds of collecting. I don't do any of that anymore. I was really into makeup for like a short period of time, and now I'm like, slap on a lipstick and go. But that was like a hobby of mine. I used to buy different makeup products and try them out and like do my face for fun. No, I don't do that anymore. I would say like clothing and thrift store shopping used to be a hobby, and I went through like a big phase in college of a lot of thrift store shopping and outfit planning. Good job. I had like an app where I took pictures of all of my clothes and like put them in outfits. I forget what it was called. But like you had to have a white background, you took pictures of all your clothes, and it would erase the background for you, and you could assemble outfits on an app and then look them up when you needed like clothes. I got like 3/4 of the way through my closet, never really finished photographing my clothes, put together like 10 outfits, never touched it again. That's just how it is. I did Sudoku puzzles for a while, gave those up. Did crosswords for a while, gave those up. Did word searches for a while, gave those up. I have this thing called fill-ins that my mother-in-law started me on. I'm not sure if I can explain really what a fill-in is. It's it's kind of like a cross between a crossword and a Sudoku. Like, you have what looks like a crossword grid, but you have a list of words that need to go in the grid, and you need to make them fit based on the intersections. Does it make any sense? Anyway, I have books of these things that I've started, not finished. I tried adult coloring for like 1 second. No. I don't even like adult coloring. I thought I would. I liked to color as a kid. I no longer enjoy coloring. I don't find it therapeutic. I'm like frustrated trying to pick out colors that go together. I can't do it. Am I like the only adult who can't color? I don't know. But I can't do it. I don't like it. It makes me irritated. Like, I have more stress from the adult coloring than the stress that I was trying to reduce with the adult coloring. I don't know. Can't do it. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm just glancing around my desk, and that's where most of the inspiration for the hobbies that I've talked about has come from, because things are just sitting around abandoned all over the place. I don't even know. You could say right now I'm a hobby librarian because I'm a volunteer librarian at my husband's school, and I don't know how long this is going to last before I lose interest, but unlike your average hobby, I can't just like lay it down in a closet and forget about it. I would have to hand that job off to somebody else, so we'll see how long that sticks. Oh, bicycling. That was a hobby I had. It's been a couple years since I rode my bicycle. Fixing bicycles. The one project I have ever finished was restoring a vintage bike. And to be honest, I only like 80% finished it, and then my husband finished it for me. Because he knows how terrible I am at finishing projects, and he wanted to take up bicycling. We'll see how well that went. I took up jogging for like a hot second. I was doing that couch to 5K thing like 5 or 6 years ago, and that was cool. And then like I blew out my knee, and I never got to the 5K part. I hate exercising. I did yoga for a while. I do like yoga. It's not like I don't like it. But like, when on earth? Thank you. When on earth am I supposed to do this yoga? Like, when is there not 1 to 5 creatures crawling on me? I have a dog and 4 children. When would I be doing this yoga? I don't understand. Like 4 a.m.? I don't know. So I haven't done yoga like since I had kids, because I couldn't figure out when to do it, that there wouldn't be at least one child crawling on me at all times. So, that hasn't happened recently. Flower arranging? That's one of these things that's called into use every once in a while, but I no longer do it for fun. In high school, I did. For all of our formal dances, I did everybody's boutonnieres and corsages for my friends' groups. Like, I would make my dates boutonniere, my corsage, and like several of my friends, all of their flowers. I would go out and buy flowers the day before, and I had floral tape, I had floral wire, I had picks, I had pins, I had all kinds of cool stuff, and I would make legit like corsages and boutonnieres. That was fun. I did my flowers for my own wedding, and that is the last time I think I've arranged flowers like for real. I mean, I'll cut them and put them in a vase, but the last time I like made flowers, I think, was for my wedding, which was like 8.5 years ago. Such is life. I'm sure I have more hobbies than this, if I thought about it. Oh, skateboarding? I have a skateboard. My husband taught me to skateboard. I think before we were married. I think when we were like 19 or 20, he taught me to skateboard. And I skateboarded a little in college. Not like tricks and stuff. I literally used it as transportation. Like, I used to skateboard to and from work because it was faster than walking. I didn't have a car. But I haven't skateboarded in like a million years. I don't even know. And ice skating. I own ice skates. We've been ice skating probably like 6 times since we bought ice skates like 7 years ago. It's like, why? What did I think I was going to take up ice skating? Did I think in my 20s all of a sudden I was going to like become good at ice skating? I can't even walk in a straight line. I run into walls all the time. I trip over my own feet. I don't know what I thought I was doing with these ice skates. I rollerbladed as a child, and I don't even think I know how anymore. Like, if kids go on field trips to roller rings, I don't even put on skates because I don't have the ability to do this anymore. It's wild. Oh, I did jewelry making for a time. I'm just remembering all these things that I used to do. I made jewelry when I was like a kid, a teen. Friendship bracelets, metal work, bead wrapping, and stone wrapping, and like. I mean, that has given me one thing, is that I can fix jewelry now that I buy it from other people and don't make it myself. But I used to do like nail art. Now I'm lucky if I slap nail polish on at all. I used like a coat of gel polish and the light and cure it, and 10 minutes later I'm done, and that's all I can be bothered with. I'm not doing no nail art. My word, no. I don't know. I refinished furniture for like a brief moment of my life. I refinished these bar stools here. That might be the only thing I have to show for this furniture refinishing. Oh, the table that is my desk that you totally can't see. Refinished that too. I flipped the house with my husband, and by flipped the house, I mean we got 3/4 of the way done flipping the house, then we sold it. But we tried. We did it, sort of. Home improvement. Yeah, it's kind of a hobby of mine. My dad taught me to do home improvement. I can do basic electrical and plumbing, and I can lay a floor, and I can use a miter saw and that type of thing. But that's about, that's about as far as that went. I never want to flip a house again. Every remodel that's been done to this house we have paid for, and I have not regretted $1 of that money. Nope. Definitely not. Ooh, now my dog's barking. Oh, I think she's done. Oh, no. While my dog was barking, I remembered that I have kind of a musical instrument problem. I tried to teach myself both guitar and violin, both instruments now sitting in my living room. I don't do those anymore. I mean, again, I started back up with the guitar like 2 weeks ago. I'm sure that's going to amount to nothing, but, it's a hobby that I used to have. I had a telescope when I was a kid. I was really into astronomy for like a year. I was really into archaeology for a few years. I used to dig stuff up and, look into the history of it and that kind of thing. I don't do that anymore. Trying to think if there's anything else. I'm sure there is. I guarantee you. Soap making, candle making. Make all the things. Pretty much like if it's a hobby, I've done it. With the exception of things like, parachuting and flying airplanes. But like many other things I've undertaken as hobbies. And like I don't know if I'm mad about it that I never finish any of these things, or if it's just like I have a wealth of amateur experience at many things that are not useful, and a few things that are useful that I don't know well enough to actually do for others. Who knows? But there it is. I don't know if this is going to become a series of like mom with ADD videos or what. Maybe it will if there's interest here. If you want to hear about more of kind of the clinical side of ADD, or just more of these kind of amusing anecdotes of my life with ADD, let me know. But this is just a thought that came to me randomly, as so many thoughts do, and I thought it might make kind of a funny video. So that's all I've got for you. If you've got any like weird abandoned hobbies, or if you feel me on the whole concept of abandoned hobbies, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. See you guys later. Bye.